Hello everyone, Starcraft InUse coming to you with another game of Starcraft 2 on the map Crevasse, the GSL version I believe, and this time it's gonna be, whoops, already had it up there, EmpireKas and EGIdrA, Evil Genius's IDRA, yep. So, to start things off, let's go over EmpireKas' stats. He is rank 8 of the Grandmaster League in Europe, if this is the right EmpireKas. And he has a 78.61% win ratio. And, yeah, seems to be like a pretty popular player. And on the other corner of the map, Evil Genius's IDRA. Now, about IDRA and his stats and stuff, there's a lot, and I mean a lot, of wannabe IDRAs. So when I typed in EGIdRA in StarCraft2ranks.com and tried to find which one he was, apparently he's not in the Grandmaster League anymore, but he used to be. So he was definitely awesome at some point, and now he's just a little less awesome by being a master, unless StarCraft 2 ranks just couldn't find him, but I doubt it. So yeah, he's apparently a master now, instead of a grandmaster. Probably took a little break or something. But yeah, very popular player. So I don't have the stats right now because there's so many wannabes. I just didn't want to cycle through them all and find out which he was. And choosing to go for a hatchery first, which on this map, Crevasse, is very, very awesome. Let me just explain it to you just a little bit right now. So you have your natural. Ta-da! Well, not your natural, your main. Wow, I feel like a total noob now. Your main, and then up this little ramp here, you have a rich Vespene geyser and a great place for your natural expansion. Doesn't have as many minerals, but it does have that rich geyser, which you know, is awesome. And it is totally up on the high ground, away from everything, except in IDRA's case, just because of the spawn locations, he is a little bit, he has to be a little bit wary of air attacks or drops. But yeah, for the most part, the natural is pretty darn safe. Natural or third, don't really care what you call it, because technically this could be the natural too. But the interesting thing about this base is you have rocks on this huge ramp. Well, I guess debris, but debris on this huge ramp, so it blocks half of it. And yeah, I mean, they only have 1,000 HP, but still, if your opponent is able to break those rocks quickly, you have a much larger choke point to deal with. You can't outmaneuver your opponent as easily. They have a little bit more leeway to get into your base and start attacking more. And EmpireKas going for 3 racks right off the bat, and going to be putting on a little bit of early marine pressure. These Zerglings trying to catch up to this SCV and take him out, but only to find that he's got marine buddies that are going to be shooting him with the machine guns, and they'll be forced to run away. And yeah, so your natural here has a little bit more minerals and 2 regular geysers, just like a normal expansion would. And it's got 3 entryways. You have destructible rocks here, which lead to an expansion and a watchtower. And you also have another expansion here, which just has 1 geyser and a few less mineral patches. And that just circles around throughout the map. Just standard, like most maps are. Mirrored and even and awesome. So, we got spawning pool going down, or not spawning pool, speed, Zergling speed going down for IDRA. And looks like, yes, he is going to be going for a Baneling nest, and probably Baneling speed is what this lair's for pretty soon here. And those Marines just kind of being little pesky buggers, forced to pull queens off, and it looks like they're going to be able to take out this Overlord, which is going to put IDRA back just a little bit. It was an Overlord that could have been saved and not lost, but these Zerglings can be able to easily clean out these Marines. Does lose his second Zergling, but that's okay. Zerglings are pretty cheap, 25 minerals a piece. you know, not too big of a loss, but all the same, just annoying. And this little small pack of Marines here, taking out these couple Zerglings that were going to come down to this tower and kill that one Marine, but instead he leaves it alive, hiding his Spire up in quite an interesting spot. That's a pretty good location to hide your Spire. It's going to be easily defended for the most part, and not scanned, most likely, unless EmpireKas gets pretty lucky. I don't think it would be scanned very fast. 2 engineering base coming out, which means the EmpireKas is going to go for a macro game and pump out those upgrades super fast. He's got a random supply depot. Probably just going to be walling this off. As soon as he's ready, he'll destroy these rocks and just have his natural wall, I would think. Maybe not. Sometimes it is easier just to destroy your own rocks so that your forces can move out if you have a big ball and more easily destroy your enemy. These Zerglings just kind of poking in here. The Marine's shooting him from the low ground because he does have that vision of that tower. Now EGIdrA taking the tower and decides to leave one damaged Zergling, the limp Zergling, poking in with this one, just kind of see what's up, see what he's got going. 2 dropships immediately get loaded up and going to be ready for a drop. EGIdrA will most likely spot it. Yes, he does have full vision of that valley now, the gorge, whatever you want to call it. Does have full vision, knows that this drop is coming. Is he going to pull away? No, he instead uses the Mutalisk to attack, and instantly as the Marines drop, a Baneling hits him, and looks like these Marines inside these medevacs are going to go down. Nope, they do get dropped, but he is going to go for that medevac instead and then take out the Marines just because the medevac costs more and, you know, it prevents more drops from happening later. He'll leave more medevacs with his main group instead. So, nice little wall he's got here. I do believe his Zergling can get through that, though. Only one at a time. But he is indeed morphing Banelings instead, so he's got Banelings and Mutas. And he does have 2 missile turrets, so he's well prepared for this Muta harass that's about to come at any point in time. And if you don't notice, EGIdrA is going for a secret hidden expansion in the bottom right, which, if not scouted, could mean the death of EmpireKas later in the game, as soon as it gets saturated up and running. And this supply depot may burn to death. Don't know if he's going to bring an SCV. Yep, this little guy's coming down here to get it. And he will save it just in time. Or, oh, lowering his supply depots at just the wrong moment. All the Banelings rolling in, taking out all those Marines. And, wow, this is not looking good. Not looking good at all for EmpireKas. The Banelings that are going to go in here, oh, used on the ones at the gas instead of going in to the main and taking out this reactor, so that the possibility of more Marines coming out and overwhelming these Mutalisks is very slim. And the Zerglings now going in after the SCVs. And wow, this is not looking good for EmpireKas at all. EGIdrA has so much. He's streaming more Zerglings, 16 Zerglings on the way. He's got this little pack of Zerglings here moving on through the map, morphing in Banelings even inside the Terran base, just to add to all this horror. I mean, if you're an SCV right now and you know that there's that many Banelings, you're probably gonna die. That's just how it is. They do have speed now. Oh, and the SCV's moving the wrong direction. But, oh, yeah, there they go. Getting so low on HP, they're going to go down to those Zerglings so fast. And there's the GG, well played from EmpireKas. And that was actually a pretty quick match. This map usually turns into quite the macro game. And usually it ends up being maxed out army versus a maxed out army, and then whoever can replenish that army after the army trade. But EGIdrA able to pull this one off, getting very lucky on the supply depot timings. He lowered them at just the wrong point, and EGIdrA was able to come in there with those Banelings and just wipe out those Marines. And once the Marines were gone, the Mutalisks were free to attack whatever they pleased.